Hey everyone, I'm Nido King and welcome back to Control. It's been a while, but last time we explored the maintenance sector. We found Horatio's old poker buddies and recovered the pouches that they had.
Fuck, if they're in there, we go around that way. No.
Well, he seems busy making some kind of tactical plans. So, let's explore the rest of the executive sector today. I don't think there's going to be anything new in Central Executive since, we've got all these new powers that I can't use in this room. And I've got a level 6 keycard that doesn't open anything around here. I think the highest clearance level in Executive is level 4. Somebody knocked over a cart of binders. Probably wasn't me. But anyway, once we get out into the Executive Affairs sector, we can actually start levitating, and there's something way up there that I honestly have no idea how to get. This is about as high as I go, and I'm still way below that chest. I can see some speakers placed on the wall up there that I might be able to stand on, but I don't think I've got enough headroom to levitate up there. Yeah, I'm still short. And I don't think there's anything in this room to stack up either. I even tried standing on some of the floating people. That doesn't work. So if I ever figure out how to get up there, I'll let you know. Meanwhile, I did want to take another look in the hotline chamber. I don't think there's actually anything here. It does give me a bit of a Stanley Parable vibe. But I'm pretty sure that just goes down forever. It looks like maybe it curves, but if there is a floor down there, there would be no way back up. So I'm not even going to attempt it. Instead, I think I'll just go ahead and traverse the sector in basically the opposite direction that I first came through. As always, pausing to look up because you never know what's going to be hidden above you. I mean, I've found some surprises along the way. There's the rather odd-looking hole that Tomasi disappeared into. We can't get up there. And there's always someone to fight in the mailroom. Oh, I forgot that I had a bureau countermeasure for the executive sector. Guess I ought to fight some dudes, huh? If I can find the dudes to fight. There they are. It's the weird thing about this room is they're always on the far side of the room. But yeah, these are all pretty low-level enemies, and launch does its work. We've even got a named enemy. Correction, had a named enemy. And still more of them. I mean, I gotta kill 25, so I'm not gonna complain about more and more of them coming after me. But okay, now that we're finished with that, we can see the room up there that's filled with mold. I can actually get in. But in this room, there's a walkway way above everything else you can't get to without levitation. And even higher up, there's that pipe. And yeah, we do need to come up here, because there's stuff. I just have to figure out how to get to the stuff. Close enough. Don't think there's going to be anything else on this side. They pretty rarely put that many chests close together. Don't think I can even stand on that pipe. That's right up against the ceiling. But I can cross over to the far side of the room, and there is another walkway, another pipe, more shelves falling over. That is my fault. And I don't think there's anything up in the ceiling on this side, but there is a chest just kind of sitting here on the walkway, so I'll grab that. More of the executive sector exclusive materials. Since I don't plan to spend much time in the executive sector, it's a good thing to get as many of those as I can. I really don't know how many I'm going to need in the end. So back out into the communications department proper. Don't suspect there's going to be anything much here that I didn't see before, but it's been a while. Might as well check and see if there are any upgrades that I can do. There are not. And with one ability point, I'm not going to be able to buy any new upgrades. So let's just keep moving. One of the strange things about the Bureau is that the light just kind of seems to come from nowhere sometimes. I don't know what up there is so bright, but you can't really see anything. You just float up into all that white. And here's the room where the mold is. Now that we've been vaccinated, we can go in. This is such a 2020 game. The only reward for coming in here is an ability point and another house memory. Kind of thought that might be something, but it looks like it's just an air vent that the mold has grown around. And that's really it. Maybe we get to listen to a little more of the Hero's Tango, I suppose. And then the Internet Room. This place has got a really high ceiling, so you know there's got to be something up there. I think you can even see the chest from down here. And as soon as I get onto the top of the cubicle there, I've already got the ability point. So now it's just a matter of getting up to the chest, but somehow it seems to be just that tiny bit out of reach. I don't know how I've gotten up to it before. I don't think I've ever stood on the speakers. Especially since I'm having so much trouble doing it now. And then when I do get up, I'm on the far side of some beam from it. And after all that effort, I do get some launch efficiency. Not something that I use very often, but it's worth having. And I don't believe there's anything else in the mailroom area, so let's head back to Pneumatics. We do have these two side rooms. Big area for side quests. Don't believe there's going to be any actual hidden stuff in the ceilings of these rooms. It's kind of hard to tell. They got these indentations in the ceiling that, any one of them could extend farther upwards, but I think that would take me directly into the mailroom above, so probably not. The house doesn't make a whole lot of spatial sense, but it does make at least that much sense. Alright, on to the Pneumatics Room itself, but before I get in there, this is a recent discovery. I actually found this playing through my endgame file. I forget what it is that I was looking for, but there's a chest up on the wall here. And hell if I know how you're supposed to open it. I mean, I can get to it, I can target it, but I can't open it while I'm standing on it, and I can't stand on this beam very easily. So really, I just kind of have to float nearby. And there we go, that's the best I've got. And it worked. Pierce aimed fire boost is pretty good. And I'm pretty sure there are not going to be any more chests up there. Again, be kind of cheap to stick 2 rewards in the same place, but you never know. Pneumatics is another room with a nice high ceiling, but we could always access this walkway using the stairs. I don't think there's anything else to be found here. If I'm wrong, I suppose I'll come back eventually. There's no way that I can tell to get to the far side of that chain link fence. And yeah, I was talking previously about how I should be doing more of the bureau alerts. Maintenance major targets is the first one that appears, so I suppose I'll finish checking out this room quickly and get over and do that. I mean, anything could be in the ceiling of that room, I wouldn't be able to tell. Alright, not a whole lot of reward, so let's just get back to dead letters. We do at least get to fight some more enemies on the way. And I have no idea what that icon in the center of the screen is. It seems like maybe that's supposed to be some kind of temporary boost. I know one of the recent patches added icons to show you when you have an active boost, like, increased damage after headshots and stuff like that. But I don't think that's what that is. With a couple extra ability points, I can upgrade pretty much any one thing on this chart. It's a tough call, though. I mean, shield rush damage would be nice. I don't use it all that often. I'm really going to need a lot more energy to make it worthwhile. I want to get the upgrades at the bottom of both the launch and shield trees. But, extra health and extra energy would both be really handy. Ultimately, I think launch is the way to go, though. If you can do enough damage with launch, you don't need to worry about energy or health or any of that other stuff. So we'll head to the energy converters and attempt to defeat all of the major targets. And I want to point out, my launch is now about as powerful as it's possible to make it in the base game. The expansions added a new tier of upgrades. And I think the upgrades that I've got on my guns are good enough for this particular mission. Couldn't remember whether this was one of the mold rooms that I'd already been in, because I think I missed one, but it wasn't this one. Alright. Major targets. And there's one right away. Don't know why I didn't try to stop that rocket. That would have been a good thing to do. I think the real issue with this fight is that we've got a hiss cluster that's just keeping its distance. And I couldn't stop the rocket while I was already grabbing something else. But I'm pretty sure I can take down this deputy officer. Actually, it's always good to have friends in high places. So, just one more named hiss to go. I don't see him. He should be running at me any moment. Oh, that is him. Unless it was another name in the back that popped up for just a second. I don't really know what's going on here. Alright, shield up, go grab some health. And I have no idea what just killed me. Oh well. We'll try another bureau alert some other time. Meanwhile, it's back to dead letters because I do actually have things to do here.
That's no normal piece of paper.
Well, she saw it a lot sooner than I did. I know vaguely where it is and what I need to do to get it. So, there should be one on top of these filing cabinets. But I don't see it. And I find that very confusing. I can hear it. It's growling somewhere. There it is, up on top of the stairs. At the proper entrance.
I need to know where it's gonna end up.
Now, I need to track it down on top of the filing cabinets, but we got more hiss to deal with first. I'm not even sure I want to attempt to grab the letter while the hiss are still attacking me, so we'll just deal with all of them and then come back for the letter. I mean, if we're talking US Post, it's not going to be that delayed. Here we go. I'll have my friend launch rockets at their friends. I'm scoring a lot of headshots, which is nice. Kind of a shame I'm not doing a countermeasure that requires headshots. But still more of them. I mean, I could finish the mission right here. And my friend doesn't have long to live, but I did get a lot of seize upgrades, so seized enemies will survive for quite a while if they're not attacked. Still more of them. Alright, charge time. That was a lot more effective than I'm used to. It's like a double hit if you can smack them with a projectile and then get them caught in the explosion. Meanwhile, the traveling letter can appear in 4 different spots on top of these cabinets. So I have to anticipate where it's going to end up in order to be there in time to grab it. Rest assured, I am absolutely doing this the naive way, and I will eventually figure out how it's meant to be done. And I'm pretty sure this is how I handled it the first time around. Just spotting it, running up to it, and then holding the action button. But you've got to be really fast to pull that off. And sometimes you don't even get the prompt when you're standing right next to it. Now, from what I remember, it seems like you get the prompt and you hold the button for a few seconds, it partly fills up the meter and it just kind of remembers how full it is. So you incrementally catch it over time, but that doesn't really appear to be the case. I'm starting from 0 every time I catch up to it. I think maybe I was supposed to know it was going to appear there because I actually got the prompt for a second before it actually appeared. But no, the prompt just seems to pop up as it's moving around. And really, if you're standing next to one of the places where it can appear, you've got a 1 in 4 chance. And it will actually appear in the same spot twice in a row occasionally. The trick seems to be that if you look at it, it'll move.
I need to find the other pages.
Yeah, and there's the rub. We've got 3 pages to find, but I've been through the whole room. I've only seen one of them. There is a whole lot more room. Dead Letters is huge. And you can't get up here until pretty late in the game. And over in this office we find the second dead letter.
Okay, we need to know where it's gonna end up.
And there we go, it appears in the same spot twice, and I lucked out that time.
There should be one more page.
Well, here's one more page. Not a page of that, though. Yeah, a proud patriot believes that a health crisis that people are facing is a hoax. And so they're going to go out of their way to be as unhealthy as possible and to spread this around as far as they can. This game was seriously made in 2019. I have no idea how they did it. I'm not really sure what the point of this level 4 door is, because you can't get up here until you've got at least clearance level 5. But I can definitely see why they chose to lock up this letter. It seems that Lorraine is somehow actually going to the astral plane. But probably not due to the action of some object of power. Unless she's got an object of power in her kitchen. Which would be really weird. Anyway, we're gonna have to keep moving up. And fortunately, from this point, there are stairs. Not that we really need them at this point, but it's nice to know that other people were able to move around the oldest house. Ooh, blast boost. I definitely want to check that out. Yeah, that's better than what I had. I mean, having a bigger blast can be dangerous if you get caught in it, but I think the solution is don't get caught in it. I think that should be enough mod maintenance for the moment. Do want to check my reload speed, but I think that should be good. Alright, more dead letters. I'm beginning to think it's just a bad idea to make things that look like animals. You got the singing fish, now you got the cat clock. They just cause more trouble than it's worth. And I'd hate to be one of the people working at this desk and having to stare out over the entire dead letters office. See, this is how you're meant to get up here. This elevator just seems to be out of service, but we saw it down below. So, even though parts of the Bureau look like you can only get around by levitating, it seems like there were originally meant to be ways to do it. And there's not a whole lot to see in this one, but I wonder what the heck they redacted. Wouldn't surprise me too much if it's just another iteration of I'm a plaid suit in a pinstripe world. Oh, that looks like something. Like a moving wall or something like that. Weird line on the ground, but I think that's just the way the light falls. Reflection from the ductwork above or something like that. Anyway, nothing else in the ceiling over here. So I do want to pop downstairs for a bit just to make sure that I didn't miss a chest under the stairs. It's the kind of place where they might hide something like that, you know? And all the way up to the very top. We've got more stuff to do. Well, this one's obviously a reference to Alan Wake and Cauldron Lake. But, I don't know, the name Richard Boker seems kind of familiar. It might be from another document in this game, and possibly one that we haven't found yet. I'm going to keep my eyes open for it. Don't think that was somebody who showed up in Alan Wake at any point. Dodge efficiency, probably not something I'm going to use. I mean, I dodge fairly regularly, but I don't think reducing the energy cost of it is going to help me much. And yeah, the elevator comes all the way up to the top, just in case you don't want to have to climb those stairs. Shame it's broken. And that just kind of looks like it goes up forever. I doubt there would be anything up there, but it's probably worth attempting to get up. I think I'm a little too low, though. And I'm going to grab that chest before I forget it. Alright, I'll try to get up there from higher ground. Like maybe on top of the filing cabinet, but no, there's not enough clearance. I'm going to hit my head. And I don't want to go all the way back down from here. Yeah, I can't get quite high enough to grab it. Might try from on top of those planters at some point, but no, we've got the last moving letter and another dead letter. It sounds like a lot of stuff I've read, but
We need to know where it's gonna end up.
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And there we go. That's the letters.
Done and done.
And the last two altered items that Langston was looking for, both in the containment sector, so I'll pick them up next time. Yeah, I wanted to give it one more attempt, didn't even come close. So, might as well take the fast way down. You'd kind of want to stop in here just to make sure that it is the same office that I visited earlier. It is. So there's only really one more room in executive left, and that's the cafeteria. There's more stuff to do here, at least. And again, I grabbed before the rocket was a grabbable thing. One more reason to get the final telekinesis upgrade if I can ever get there, because it will actually save me in situations like that. But that's a long, long time coming. Meantime, I might as well just mop up the enemies here for the experience and any stuff that they might drop. It's now a lot easier to get up to some of the ledges that I used evasion to get to before. But remember this safe room? Yeah, I can walk in here now. Yeah, I kinda wish I'd been able to get to that guy a little sooner. That was deeply unsettling. Alright, getting out of here. I don't think there's anything else I can do in the cafeteria. There's that nice wide open space for the tree to grow into, but it does not appear that there's anything up there. And there's not really any other space in the ceiling for there to be anything else. We also can't get into nostalgia yet. It's still full of hiss. And there's not a whole lot down that hallway either. It's just kind of a dead end. So, alright. Back to Central, and I will cash in my rewards for this episode. Keep staring at ceilings, but there's not going to be anything in here.
Why haven't we dissected that freak mutation we locked up? We could learn so much from its physiology.
He's a valuable resource alive, and Pope forbade any physical harm. Of course, if you disagree, you could always go tell her.
No, that's fine. I'm sure we can find a more constructive use of our time.
Also, that's my brother. Keep that in mind. Alright, so we'll cash in that countermeasure. More launch efficiency. And I've actually got a couple more countermeasures in this sector, which I don't think I'm going to do at any future time if I don't do them now, so honestly, I think the best thing to do is just go ahead, take them, and go grind for more countermeasures for a bit. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and check the documents here. So, if anybody doesn't want to watch the boring grinding stuff, you'll be able to call it quits after checking out the moving letters. I'm pretty sure that Herd Archivist is supposed to be Head Archivist, and they mistyped it. There are a lot of typos like that, but in this case, it's hard to tell whether that's actually what they meant or not. But I think that's the only collectible that I found that I didn't already look at, so need to kill enemies with headshots? Let's go do it.
The director has taken a shine to Pope. Explains a lot.
I mean, yeah, I've taken a shine to Pope. I don't think she's talking about me behind my back. Yeah, charge is not going to be very good for headshots, so I'm switching over to Pierce. Also looking to get some better mods on it. At the very least, the damage boost is pretty tame at this point. But since I'm mostly going to be aiming with it anyway, I think the zoom boost is going to do me a lot more good. Took me a while to find any enemies at all, but there's always enemies in the mailroom. Unless there's a countermeasure or a bureau alert going on here. Half the time you get a bureau alert in the mailroom, there will be no hiss. Easiest alert ever. But we don't have an alert now, so we're getting swarmed with rockets. Give me a headshot. Give me a headshot before I get pummeled with rockets. And after all that, it didn't even count. Headshots are one of the finickiest things. And really like to deal with the guy behind me, but at the same time, I gotta aim in order to take advantage of the zoom boost that I've got. But I keep shooting these guys in the head with Pierce, and it doesn't give me headshot credit. And I think at some point I just have to conclude that you can't get a headshot with Pierce, as strange as that sounds. You know, the sniper gun, the one with the highest precision, you'd expect to be the best thing for getting headshots. And I just don't seem to be able to do it. Grip, on the other hand, is pretty easy. If I'm actually paying attention to what I'm doing. And fortunately, only the last hit has to be a headshot, so I can wear the enemies down a little bit, make sure that I'm going to take them out with whatever headshot I get, and then go for it. There you are. Couldn't tell whether I took him out or not. I think I did, and again, I could have sworn I had hit him pretty squarely in the head. I am at least getting a reasonable number of headshots. And there I grabbed a rocket, not really thinking that, no, I need to kill this guy with a headshot, and then threw it into a column that was right next to me. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to have done me any lasting harm, and there are yet more enemies to deal with. They are always on the other side of the room. Okay, that one I'm willing to accept was a little low. And all the way back to the cafeteria just to find some more guys. Let's just say they're lucky that I'm aiming for their heads, because it makes me an even worse shot than usual. Seems to me kind of like Shadowrun rules. You know, if you're not aiming at a specific part of the enemy, you hit them about 4 times as often. You aim your shot, and chances are you're gonna just completely miss and not hit anything at all. Systems that use numbers to simulate stuff are just weird. Oh, hey, I can do major targets in maintenance. Let's not. I'm having enough trouble with normal targets in executive. At least I got the headshot in the end. And I think the enemies are scoring a lot of headshots on me with their rockets. Okay, there we go. That is done. Killing enemies with charge is probably going to be significantly easier. And since I have no active countermeasure at the moment, I'm just going to let the rest of the enemies do their thing for a moment and go change out my countermeasure. Yeah, we'll hear about variations of the Hiss morphology some other time. Give me my reward. And a trophy. By the way, I'm playing on a PlayStation 5 now. Oh, and there's a mission for Hiss Distorted. I think there may be one Hiss Distorted that appears in the executive sector in the entire game. I don't plan to worry about that countermeasure ever. I'm not even aware of a bureau alert where there's a Hiss Distorted. So the big problem with charge is if you don't hit the enemy directly, you just create a big explosion somewhere else that is completely harmless. So I find that the best thing to do is actually to aim more at the enemy's feet, rather than trying to hit them directly. Because you do still seem to get the initial impact and the explosion, even if it just lands nearby. And it was 4 kills for one. It's not awful. Yeah, I saw an enemy about to appear there. Just gotta wait for him to finish showing up. I think that might have been a headshot. No. It's not a headshot, that's just the targeting marker that the reticle turns into for a second there when I launch the rocket. Get this weird X. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too surprising if you couldn't actually score headshots with charge. Not really sure why, though. Like, what would be the point? I don't think it needs any extra damage. I mean, look at this. It's like a spell effect from Final Fantasy. Yeah, I don't know why. I've been playing a whole lot of Final Fantasy VIII recently and actually using Demi on some of the stronger enemies, and it looks just like that. Alright, so that's dealt with. That's all the executive sector countermeasures that I'm going to bother with for the moment. I'll just go cash this one in.
So many variations of the Hiss morphology. I wonder if they're distinct entities or stages of some rapid evolution process.
I could not for the life of me figure out who was talking there. I got a shifting fragment? That's a DLC upgrade item. I didn't think I was supposed to be able to get those. And yeah, I could go try to kill some guards in this sector, but I'm pretty done. Yeah, we're gonna get to research pretty soon, so I'll load up on countermeasures for that. In the meantime, it's gonna be mod maintenance for the rest of the video, so feel free to watch as long as you want, and I'll see you in the containment sector next time.